There's a new gold rush in tech, and it's not happening in Silicon Valley. It's happening in Shenzhen, Beijing, and Hangzhou, where 13 Chinese tech giants, from Tencent to ByteDance to Xiaomi, are all racing to deploy the same thing: a red lobster. Meanwhile, in America, two companies are fighting over it. That's it. Today, how a humble open-source AI agent became the battlefield for the future of computing, and why China's everyone deploys strategy might beat America's elite-only approach. I'm your host, and this is China Business Insider. So what is this lobster everyone's talking about? OpenClaw, originally called Claudebot, then Moltbot, now OpenClaw. The logo is a red lobster. Users who deploy it call themselves shrimp farmers. Yeah, tech people are weird. It was created by an Austrian programmer named Peter Steinberger as a playground project in November 2025. The idea was simple: give AI actual hands and eyes, not just chat. Let it browse, click, write code, send messages autonomously. By March 2026, it had 285,000 GitHub stars, making it the most starred open source project in history. Linux took 30 years to get there. OpenClaw did it in 4 months. Then things got really interesting. Here's where our story splits into two very different paths. In China, OpenClaw triggered something that looks less like a product launch and more like, well, a gold rush with lobsters. March 9th, 2026. Tencent announces WorkBuddy, a full OpenClaw-compatible agent that works out of the box. No cloud deployment, just download, install, done. Same day, ByteDance launches ArcClaw. Cloud SaaS version, open browser and use. But here's what made it wild. These weren't beta releases for developers, these were consumer products. For everyone. Tencent went to their Shenzhen headquarters lobby and started installing OpenClaw for random people who walked in, free. No technical background required, ages 2 to 60 according to their press release. I'm not making this up, a 2-year-old apparently now has an AI agent. The list of Chinese companies deploying OpenClaw clones reads like a tech industry census. Tencent with WorkBuddy, ByteDance with ArcClaw, Alibaba with HiClaw and Copal, Baidu with Red Finger Operator, Xiaomi with, I'm not kidding, MiClaw, Huawei Cloud with one-click deployment, JD Cloud with Lobster hosting, Meituan integrating agents into their super app. Even the phone manufacturers, Huawei, Honor, Xiaomi, all building phone lobsters. That's 13 major companies, all deploying, all competing, all racing to be your lobster provider. And the government, oh, they're in on it too. Shenzhen's Longgang district released an official policy: subsidies for OpenClaw deployment, free installation services, data support, even funding for one-person companies. Businesses run entirely by AI agents. The logic is classic Chinese internet playbook: flood the market, acquire users, figure out monetization later, get everyone addicted to your lobster, then charge for the premium shrimp food. Now, let's talk numbers because they're pretty wild. According to OpenRouter tracking, Chinese models now dominate OpenClaw usage. Step 3.5 flash from Stepstars is number 1 globally, Minimax M 2.5 is number 2. Kimi K 2.5 is number 4. 3 Chinese startups in the top 5. Minimax reported their token consumption in February 2026 was 6 times December 2025 levels. Coding plan subscriptions? Up 10 times. And the stock market noticed. Minimax stock is up 639% since January. That's not a typo, 639%. Their market cap now exceeds JD.com, Baidu, and Ctrip. Tencent's stock jumped when they announced WorkBuddy. Citigroup gave them a buy rating with 52% upside potential. Why? Because WorkBuddy isn't just a product, it's potentially the next operating system, the entry point to everything. But here's what's really driving the numbers: token consumption. Remember, OpenClaw doesn't work without calling AI models. Every task, every automation, every, hey lobster, do this for me. That's API calls. Tokens. And tokens cost money. One analyst estimated that a typical OpenClaw user consumes 100 to 1,000 times more tokens than a typical ChatGPT user. Let that sink in. If ChatGPT is a conversation, OpenClaw is a full-time employee, working 24/7, making thousands of decisions. That's why cloud providers are so excited. Alibaba Cloud, Tencent Cloud, Huawei Cloud, they're not just providing infrastructure. They're selling the fuel, and every new shrimp farmer is a new customer who needs lots and lots of fuel. Now let's look at the other side of the Pacific, where the story is different. In America, OpenClaw didn't trigger a gold rush. It triggered an acquisition. February 2026, OpenAI hires Peter Steinberger, the creator of OpenClaw. Sam Altman announces Steinberger will drive the next generation of personal agents at OpenAI. The project moves to a foundation structure, but let's be real, it's OpenAI's now. Meanwhile, Anthropic? They're not deploying, they're litigating. Remember the name changes? Claudebot to Moltbot to OpenClaw? Yeah, that was because Anthropic sent a trademark complaint. The company that makes Claude didn't want something called Claudebot, confusing people. But here's the ironic twist. Anthropic's Claude code is actually exceptional right now, widely considered the best coding agent available. Yet instead of embracing OpenClaw, they're competing with it, building their own closed ecosystem. It's open source versus closed source all over again. China is embracing OpenClaw, customizing it, deploying it everywhere, while America is trying to replace it with proprietary alternatives. So who is deploying in America? OpenAI with Codex. That's basically it for consumer-facing tools. Yes, there are enterprise versions. Yes, developers can self-host. But there's no Tencent offering free installation in Times Square. No ByteDance launching ArcClaw for everyone. The American strategy is elite first. Build the best model. Charge premium prices. Serve developers and enterprises. Let the technology trickle down. So we have two completely different approaches to the same technology. China. The everyone gets a lobster model, free or cheap deployment, one-click setup. Compete on convenience and ecosystem lock-in. Monetize later through token consumption and premium features. Meanwhile, in America, the best lobster for the rich model, premium pricing. Developer-focused. Build the most capable agent, charge accordingly. Enterprise contracts over consumer adoption. Which is better? Honestly, ask me in 2 years. But here's what's fascinating. The Chinese model treats OpenClaw like a platform war, like WeChat Pay versus Alipay, like the ride-hailing wars, like food delivery. Get users first, dominate the ecosystem, then monetize. Tencent explicitly said WorkBuddy is about locking users and entry points. They're not hiding it. This is about becoming the operating system for the AI age. And the American model? It's building walled gardens. Claude Code is excellent, but it's closed. OpenAI's agent will be powerful, but proprietary. They're not embracing the open ecosystem. They're trying to own it. And it's the same playbook we've seen before, Android versus iOS, open versus closed. Except this time, China is on the open side. Here's what I think matters for listeners. First, OpenClaw or AI agents in general might be the next platform shift. Like mobile was, like the internet was, the companies that control the agent layer control the user relationship. That's why 13 Chinese companies are fighting so hard. Second, China's deploy everything approach creates a different innovation environment. More experimentation, more weird use cases, more feedback loops. The American approach might build better tech, but the Chinese approach might discover better applications. Think about it. When you have millions of people using AI agents for everything, ordering food, booking flights, writing code, managing spreadsheets, you're going to discover use cases that a Silicon Valley lab would never imagine. The Chinese market becomes a massive testing ground. Third, the business model question isn't settled. Will agents be utilities you pay for monthly or platforms that monetize through transactions? China is betting on the latter, and America is split. And here's the historical irony. For decades, the story was America innovates, China copies. America builds the platform, China adapts it for local markets. But with OpenClaw, the roles are reversed. China is the one embracing open source, customizing it, flooding the market. America is building proprietary walled gardens. It's like watching Android versus iOS. But this time, Google is the closed one, and, well, there's no perfect analogy, but you get the point. And finally, this isn't over. OpenAI hasn't fully launched their consumer agent yet. Anthropic might come back. Google and Meta are lurking. The lobster wars are just getting started. Next episode, how Chinese EVs are getting banned in Europe. and why that might backfire. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Leave a review if you learned something. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, and this is China Business Insider.